The OnePlus 11R was pretty amazing. OnePlus seemed to have turned the clock back by launching a high-performance phone at a pretty reasonable price. With the Ace 2V, which is expected to globally launch as the Nord 3, OnePlus seems to have actually put together what's arguably an even better value smartphone. Flagship specs for about 27,000 rupees or 330 US dollars converted. Now that's what we're talking about here. Of course, nothing comes for free, and there are some corners that have obviously been cut, but this phone does seem to be very impressive overall as a package. In today's video, let's unbox this new phone and take a close look at what OnePlus, or rather Oppo's, been up to here. Hey guys, Ash here from C4eTech, and let's get started. Now before we proceed, a quick request: if you're on Telegram, use the link in the description to join the C4eTech channel so that you can keep track of all my new uploads. So this is the Ace 2V that, like I said, is expected to be launched as the Nord 3 globally. The box is very familiar. Let's go ahead and open it up. We've got the usual red insert with Never Settle on it. Here we have the regular information booklets. Here's the SIM ejector tool, the stickers that we've been seeing for a while, and a soft TPU case. Let's now get to the phone. Let me remove it from its protective wrap and peel off that sticker. This is the black version. OnePlus also sells a green SKU that seems to have a lot more of a glossy finish. Digging further into the box, we have a red USB Type-A to USB Type-C cable. And finally, this here's the 80-watt SuperVOOC charger. OnePlus claims you can charge the 5000 mAh battery inside the Ace 2V from 0 to 50 in about 15 minutes and 0 to 100 in a little over 30, which seems awesome. Both the charging speed as well as the fact that OnePlus have managed to cram in a higher capacity battery despite the thickness remaining unchanged since the last time around, since the Nord 2, Nord 2T. The weight's also almost unchanged at 190-ish grams. The back here, it's still glass and it feels very similar to what we saw with the OnePlus 11R. It's got that smooth finish and the green similarly remains glossy. OnePlus says this is 2.8D glass, meaning it curves quite sharply at the edges. The camera array, that looks different though. In fact, it feels closer to the Oppo Reno 9 than any other OnePlus phone. And anyways, we will talk about the camera in a bit, but for now, the sides, they're made out of plastic, but the alert slider is indeed present here. That's always a nice touch. I'm really happy they changed their mind about the alert slider being a pro-only feature. I do wish they had placed this alert slider a little lower though, because at times it feels a little hard to reach where it is. Also present here is the IR blaster that we first saw on the OnePlus 11R. So with the included app, you can control your TV and other appliances around the house. There is, however, no room for microSD or a headphone jack here. There is no IP rating, and also I'm not sure what glass they are using for protection. The word going around is that they've got Gorilla Glass 5 to the back and Asahi Dragon Trail glass to the front. I will confirm this with a pinned comment once I do get more information. Now moving on, while the Nord 2 and 2T had 6.43-inch 90Hz OLED panels, OnePlus has gone for a larger and faster panel this time around. The display here to the front, it's 6.74 inches, 120Hz AMOLED, and not just that, the resolution has also been increased to 1.5K. It even gets a peak brightness boost. This 10-bit panel here is capable of hitting 1450 nits for HDR content. This awesome display is paired with a set of stereo speakers which sound reasonably loud and clear. As nice as the build, display and speakers are, they aren't really the highlight of this phone. The real highlight, the feature that makes this phone scream "Acknowledge me!" is what is in the inside. We've got the MediaTek Dimensity 9000 running things. This is a 4nm flagship SoC from MediaTek, basically their version of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 that's been paired with a surprisingly high amount of RAM and storage even on the base variant. OnePlus offers the Nord 3 or the Ace 2V with 12 or 16 gigs of LPDDR5X RAM and 256 or 512 gigs of UFS 3.1 storage, which is awesome to the end consumer, especially when you realize the OnePlus 11R's base was 8128. This year's 12 256. That said, when they do launch this globally, I won't be surprised if they do offer lower SKUs. Now the games I tried running, they ran smoothly, which is no surprise given the hardware underneath. OnePlus does claim they've paid a lot of attention to cooling, but as things stand, sustained performance is something that needs to be improved on. On 3D Mark, while left extreme stress test, You can see the performance dropping by half when the GPU is pushed constantly for 20 minutes. I would, however, take these results with a grain of salt since it is very early days. The phone's just about launched, and with Chinese brands, you do often see more bugs initially than you would on, say, a Samsung, for example. Hopefully, this is software and they can address it with an update. And the software is gonna change anyways for the global launch. Since this is the Chinese version, this year's ColorOS 13 running atop Android 13. When it goes global, expect Oxygen OS. Now, regular day-to-day use, the phone feels fast and responsive to use. OnePlus claims 44 apps can be held in memory with a 16GB RAM SKU, which is insane. I don't know why you'd need it, but hey, it is there. Apps do feel quick to launch, and the 120Hz refresh ensures the phone feels smooth to use at all times. Now, with that said, let's move on to the optics. This is an area where I feel most corners have been cut to hit that uber competitive price point. We have a triple camera array to the back. The primary is a 64 megapixel sensor paired with a f1.7 lens, a lens that is not optically stabilized. That said, it does a reasonably good job with the images as long as the lighting is good. The colors, as you can see, are great. The detail and dynamic range are reasonably okay, average. Images at times do come out looking a little too soft for my liking, and in some cases, I do see the detail in the shadows being crushed. Low light performance too, as you can see, it is just about okay-ish. OIS could have really helped here. Another area where OIS would have definitely made a major difference is with video, because here we can shoot it up to 4K 60, but at this resolution and frame rate, there is no stabilization, which kind of makes it unusable for me. 1080 60 lacks the detail, but is a lot more usable given the electronic stabilization at play. The secondary is an 8 megapixel ultra wide, and it is nothing to write home about. Fits more into a single frame, does perform reasonably well. And the third is a 2 megapixel macro to make up the numbers. Now to the front, we have a 16 megapixel selfie camera, which on paper looks to be a downgrade from the 32 megapixel sensor we got the last time around. But in reality, it actually performs quite well. The skin tones were on point, the edge detection is quite good too. It even pulls double duty for face unlock and is very effective. The other biometric option is the fingerprint scanner that's located under the display. Once again, super quick and accurate, but like the 11R, I feel it's placed a little too low. It's not a big con or anything, but one I just wanted to mention. You know, earlier this video, I said this, the feature that makes this phone scream, "Acknowledge me," is what is on the inside. I might have been a little wrong about that, because while the hardware is indeed strong, this phone wouldn't be quite as alluring if not for this part. The pricing. OnePlus has gone nuts here. The base version, which as I mentioned earlier happens to be 12 gigs of RAM with 256 gigs of storage, that one starts at 2299 RMB, which loosely converts to 27,000 rupees or $330 US. For that price, this kind of performance, assuming they can fix that sustained performance part, this display, this kind of build, if you're someone who doesn't really care much for the cameras but want a solid phone with excellent specs, this should make you sit up and take notice. OnePlus, in my humble opinion, have nailed the pricing here. What do you think? Do you think the specs here justify calling this a pure flagship killer? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And with that, we are at the end of this quick little unboxing and hands-on. Thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt about the video. Subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that bell icon if you haven't yet. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching. Until next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.